Hello, Grill fam. You're watching The Hill with April Ryan, where we'll bring you the latest in politics every week. Let's begin in Washington, where the January 6th committee investigating the U.S. Capitol attack in 2021 has recommended that the Department of Justice file several criminal charges against former President Donald John Trump. theGrio recently spoke with Capitol Officer Harry Dunn, who was guarding House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office the day of the insurrection. And here's what he had to say regarding the committee's final hearing.
There's no way they could have followed the facts as they've stated that they've been doing the entire time, which they have been, and not come to that conclusion. So it was expected. So the thing that I'm getting at is that I think it's important to know that I consider it a symbolic move because it doesn't really, I mean, it carries weight, but not really. Like, who's the ultimate authority that has the jurisdiction to do something about it is the Justice Department. So, like I said, they did what they were supposed to do. Now it's just kind of like, all right, good. They did what you're supposed to do. Now the Justice Department needs to step up and do what they're supposed to do.
This week, Congressman Ro Khanna introduced the Peace Act, which stands for Police Exercising Absolute Care with Everyone. The representative believes if this legislation is signed into law, it will prevent federal law enforcement from engaging in excessive use of force and police brutality. In a recent interview with theGrio, Khanna said that this is a bill for federal officers, but will also act as a guide for local police departments to follow as well.
This is something I've been working on for years. Lacey Clay, who used to represent Ferguson, now Cori Bush does. Lacey Clay and I worked on this bill and introduced it on the 5-year anniversary of what happened in Ferguson. And what it does is change the standard of force for police. I mean, right now in this country, you can use force if you think it is reasonable. We're the only country in Western democracies that has that standard. In almost every other European nation, Western democracy, you're not allowed to use force unless it's a last resort, unless it's absolutely necessary. And this is a big difference. It's the difference between a police officer shooting someone unarmed and saying, well, I thought they were reaching for a gun, where it really was that they were reaching for a wallet, and that being seen as reasonable and having no consequence, versus a standard that says, no, you can't shoot unless it was a absolutely necessary act. We made progress. We now have Senator Padilla behind it. It was part of the George Floyd Policing Act. It passed the House. We need it to pass the Senate.
During the 2022 Africa-U.S. Leaders Summit, Biden administration officials put pressure on Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni for his country's anti-LGBTQ+ policies. In 2014, the president signed a bill into law that would criminalize gay marriage and sexual intercourse between same-sex individuals. During a meeting with the African president, U.S. officials challenged Museveni's same-sex policies, yet he pushed back and called LGBTQ+ individuals awful. A State Department spokesperson told theGrio the United States will continue its efforts to advance democracy and promote respect for human rights. For the record, the Biden administration is pro-same-sex marriage. That's it for The Hill with April Ryan. We'll see you in the new year with the latest news and politics. Peace.